Well, making art is one of the most important things I do, aside from caring for my family and being there for the people that love me. I spend time in the studio, and it's very important to me. I make sculpture. First time I welded steel, I was 17 years old, and I went to the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Arts. And we all thought we were painters at the time, because that's what we all did, paint. And they said, okay, 15 of you can paint, 15 will make ceramics, 15 will do printmaking, and 15 will make sculpture. And when they demoed the sculpture, they demoed oxyacetylene welding, and it was the first thing they showed, and immediately I knew that's what I wanted to do. I liked the tactile quality, I liked the equipment, I liked the scale of the things that you could make, and I developed an incredible fondness for steel, and not because it is masculine or industrial necessarily, but because of what it can do when it's heated, because of its color. It has a lot of masculine connotations, steel does, but I tend to work it in a way that's shows its softer side and add a feminine touch, if you will, and make it more organic, I guess you could say. And I love forms and the relationships, spatial relationships, and so I find myself having conversations with materials in front of me almost on a daily basis and creating things that I feel are tremendously important. The first time I used a sphere in my sculpture, it was a dense wool ball. Beautiful, raw wool, just wrapped, very dense, and surrounded by the steel. And it was lovely. The wool itself was beautiful all by itself. But the combination drew a lot of reaction from my viewers. So I started to recognize that, the steel, or the ball itself was powerful, and I didn't know why. I didn't know whether it was because people made associations with the childhood or with the planet or what. But I decided that it wasn't that. It wasn't the next step that they had to make, those associations. It was just some fundamental interest in the sphere. The sphere was a kind of like it drew them. It's a powerful shape. It's very appealing. It is an appealing shape. So recognizing that every time I put it in my sculpture, it became important to me. The sphere became kind of a symbol for all that is precious in my own life. My family, my talent, my health, my ability to spend time making sculpture, all those things that are good, and the sphere symbolized that for me. And so it affected the way I incorporated the sphere in every single piece. Sometimes it was hugged or cradled, and sometimes it was presented up high as if it was on display, and sometimes it was in a place of importance, and all in the way that I thought about whatever element that sphere represented for me, and surrounded the steel around it according to that feeling. So, and this is another example of that. The Millersville University show in the Sykes Gallery represents about 3.5 years of my work altogether. To have that opportunity in that beautiful space to put my work, I was thrilled, because it's very telling for me to see all the work together at one point in time. I work in different directions. There were different series represented there. There are many pieces missing from the series because I no longer have them. So just to see a stretch of work over time, and there were 23 works in that show, was telling. I wanted to see if it was cohesive, if there was a unity to it, and I actually felt very strongly that there was. It held together quite well, and I was happy that seeing all those different works in one place still had a great deal of unity to it. So I was very pleased with the show, very pleased that Lena Brunsey, the head of the sculpture department there, gave me that opportunity. In the show, there's a sculpture called Wonderball, and I was commenting on the importance of the spheres in my work, and Wonderball is a gigantic ball, which makes plenty of sense that the title of it would be Wonder Ball. It's kind of a culmination of a lot of the sphere pieces that I had done, particularly the ones that were made of the sphere itself was made of steel, kind of a mesh or a nesty looking kind of layering of metal, highly textured. And Wonder Ball is a super large version of that, where the ball itself is so important that its support is very, very secondary. Whereas in other pieces, the support plays just as important of a role in the sculpture. But in Wonder Ball, it's like, no, the ball takes precedence.